Hi, Baldy Jack here. Today's video review is on the following.
Sideshow 1/6 scale, Friday the 13th, Part 7, New Blood, Jason Voorhees. And happy holidays, everyone, if you're watching this. Either now or the new year. So, this is my final figure review for this year. As you can see, here's the front cover with the usual portrait with the Jason figure. If you can see, you have a little picture here of the figure of the sculpt for Part 7 of his face. You know, you got all the good stuff there. Horror cinema. House of Horror cinema, which was kind of a thing that a couple companies did when they had like Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface going on back in the early 2000s. So you have a picture with Jason here, and the picture of the face. And you have a little read up here. You want to read that sucker. And then you got the pictures of the previous figures they had, which is Part 2, Pamela Voorhees and Jason from Jason Goes to Hell. One weird thing about this glare, you have a picture of Jason from Part 6 there. So you have, 7 with the mask unmasked, and then for some reason Part 6, I don't understand why, that's kind of weird. So then, once you open this one up, you got the little picture of the poster there with most of these figures. And then you have the cast going on here. It's glare, I swear. Cast and crew. And, well, just the cast. And then you have the figure inside. Man, this glare is killing it. There, see the figure? All accessories. I actually have the mask on him instead of on the side here. I think that's just how I left him since I last opened him. And got this guy out of package. The usual things with these figures is they're numbered. Specific number. I think that's... Crap, I can't even tell. It says it's like 524. Well, can't really get that number down right. So it's like 500 and something. So I'll get them out of the packaging and we'll take a better look at them and everything. Alright, I just wanted to point out the little inside of the packaging. It says Crystal Lake 5 miles. This is from Part 7 with the Camp Crystal Lake sign. Sorry for the glare. I swear this glare is a little annoying. So, speaking of the Jason figure, and here's Jason out of the packaging. And man, does he look badass and menacing. But first, I'm going to go over his accessories as always and will be. So first we have the tent stake, which he killed that Michael guy with because it was his birthday, so that was his last. The blood looks alright on it, and which he killed him when he was chopping down trees for firewood, and he had the machete. So here's the machete. The blood on this is, I don't know, it's not placed right, but it is what it is. Really like the Sideshow machetes. Let's turn the focus on the background and not the machete. So there's the machete. Then we have the axe. I feel like the blood also looks a little wonky on this too, but it is what it is. So the blood's a little on it. The wood green looks pretty good. And the last weapon here is the sickle. A little bit of glare going on again. There we go. I swear, the blood on this one looks the best out of all of them. It's got like that wetness and like a little bit of a wetness and like within this area, there's like a little bit of less blood kind of going on there, like as if when he pulled it out. So he kind of got that going on there, which looks pretty good. His display base is actually being used for another Part 7 Jason figure, so I'll show that in just a second. Alright, so there's the Mezco figure, in which there's the display base for the Sideshow 7 figure. I just use it on this guy because he doesn't stand 100% well. It's kind of a little dusty, you can tell. So there's that. you know, it says Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, and you have a knife going on there. Kind of put him over here off to the side. Okay. Getting into Jason himself. It's kind of hard to do this because this camera is so positioned far back. Okay, so here's Jason. The head sculpt, well, not the head sculpt, but the mask looks very well done. I think they could have done a little bit of a better paint job on the mask. And then with the weathering, with the paint scratched off for the nose of the hockey mask and here and there. And then you have his teeth going on there with the wound from the machete. And of course, the axe mark. Then you have the clothes being all worn out and all the flesh and decay on Jason with his bony hands kind of here with some bone showing. And then you have the chain, of course. And here we have his spine. So the spine looks pretty good. Really, the only main thing about this figure I wish it had more of, I guess I wish it had more of the clothes being a little more ripped, because there is a lot of detail and sculpt going on with this figure. He's fully sculpted except for his, basically his bicep area. That's the only part that isn't sculpted. He's sculpted from front to back and his full legs, except his chest is kind of like a rubbery piece. And I think he's a little bit on the skinny side, but he looks really, really good for what he is. Usually, they would display, you know, I don't know, tent stake, and one of those weapons. I'll display this. I can't even. I know since these reviews I've been doing with larger figures, I always, okay, his hand's a little open too much. You know what? Just give him the trusty machete. Take it. Don't wanna break it now. Okay, there. So there we have him with his machete. So he looks really well. My major gripe about the figure is that not enough rips and tears in the clothes. I guess the reason behind this is maybe so the clothes doesn't rip so easily. I really don't know, but it would kind of be basically something like along the lines of the Mezco figure, just as a reference. Now, while I'm at it, we'll get into everything else that Jason's got going on. You can see, of course, his, you know, in the screen area, crap. Okay, I guess that's good. You can see his, of course, you can see his eyes in there, a little bit of the bone. So, remove the mask. I can actually, man, it's like stuck on his face from like the last time I had him in here. Oh, there we go. Okay, hope I didn't break anything. There. So here's the face only a mother could love. And it looks very cool. They really did capture Jason from the film and everything. Even from where Tina sent the nails in Jason's head, like there, kind of on his cheek. Looks really great, especially the side here with his teeth, the mouth. Man, this is just one great head sculpt by Mezco for being a 2005 figure. If I am correct, it's 2005. Yes, indeed, it's a 2005 figure. So this figure is just about 11 years old. Maybe, well, it could be 11 now, but it'll probably be 12 sometime in 2017. One thing I usually like to do when displaying this figure is, okay, so you know how you have Jason in the film with the mask splitting in half. A lot of people do this. Well, not do this, but have Jason like this. But since Sideshow didn't give us something like this, because, mainly they give us, of course the weapons, and sometimes the bonus exclusive piece that would come with the figure would either be a severed arm, like with part 6, or a weapon or something like that. But this case, it was the tree trimmer? Yeah, the tree trimmer. So, this is what I like to do. Is take the Mezco figure's mask and just put it over Jason's head, so you can have Jason's face exposed with also him having the mask on. You kind of got to get it on there just right, because it's not really meant for this figure, but that's the really best way to put it. It fits all right on him, and this looks very cool. So this was one thing I liked having Jason posed in my little display case going on. So, at the end of the day, this figure has a lot going on, and I know this is one of those Sideshow figures that are selling pretty high, and I think it would be really cool to see Sideshow actually revisit this figure. Since they're doing part 3, hopefully they'll revisit some Jasons maybe, or do some new ones. Like, they could do Roy Burns, maybe they could do Jason Takes Manhattan. There's endless things you can do when it comes to a Jason figure. Sickle, pretty cool. So we can kind of, well, I don't really need to, okay, I don't want to knock him over now. I don't really need to display him with that on camera, because it'll take time doing that. What I'm going to do is, okay, I'm knocking him over here on purpose now. What I'm going to do with my reviews, as most of them I do, is take some photo shots. So here's the gallery figure shots of this figure, and yeah.